Level 1. $0. Tuesday, 3 a.m. Pit 1 at the Golden Rose, downtown Las Vegas. Your Uncle Ray shuffles a fresh deck, cuts it, sets it on the felt, and drops, dead before the ambulance shuts its siren off. You're dealing the next table for tips in a coffee can. In 20 years, your name is on this skyline, $100 billion tall. Right now you're 26. Checking account, negative $12. Pearl from the cage, the casino's bank behind teller bars, puts a rubber band around Ray's deck. The last thing his hands ever did. She locks it in the safe. The will names you. The rose is yours. The building, the license, the debt. At the funeral home, Marcus shows up with an entourage and sunglasses. He owns the glass tower across the street. He checks his phone during the eulogy. Then he drops a $10,000 chip on the casket, like a tip. For the land under it. The rest died with him. More money than you've ever held. On your uncle's coffin. You can't even yell. It's a funeral. You sign the license transfer, not his sale papers. And in 20 years, the man pricing the land begs you for one hand of cards, and you'll hold the only hand he wants. The deck waits in the safe. What do you do with a hand a dead man shuffled? Level 2. $1,000. Monday morning, Ray's back office at the Golden Rose. His reading glasses are still on the blotter, folded, patient. You sit down in his chair like it might object. The chair is enormous. Ray was a small man with big furniture. The lawyer's folder makes it official. You own a casino, 62 employees, and the $200,000 Ray still owed the bank. After Friday's payroll clears, the account will hold $1,000. That's the empire. $1,000 and a neon rose. You call the bank about the debt, and the bank calls you the estate. Out the office window, the strip glows like a rich neighbor's party. Ray squinted at that skyline for 40 years. 20 years from now, the tallest name on it belongs to this place. Today, you can't afford the window cleaner. You spend the first week saying yes to everybody. A vendor in a golf shirt sells you 5 years of napkins. A carpet guy quotes double, and you shake on it. Vegas can smell a yes through drywall. Elena stops it. Overnight cocktail waitress, 10 years on this floor, reads a table faster than the cameras do. Elena slides the napkin contract out from under your pen mid-signature. Third napkin guy this month, she says. They pass your name around like a coupon. That night at the empty bar, Elena flips a cocktail napkin and writes the house math on it. A free drink costs the rose $2. The player it keeps seated gives back $40. Elena taps the pen on the 2. Nothing in this town is free. Free is how Vegas says down payment. You tape that napkin inside the register. Every free thing in Vegas has a number behind it. And you just learn to look. First lesson, free of charge. Which should have told you something. Thursday, 4 dealers don't show for the evening shift. You're 4 best. No calls, no letters, just empty tables at 6 p.m. Marcus hired them across the street at the Meridian. $5,000 signing bonuses, time to your payroll week. Marcus didn't even call to gloat. Some wars start with empty chairs. His funeral chip sits in your coffee can, under the 1s and 5s. You're not sure yet why you keep it. Friday morning, you pawn your Honda for $900. Friday night, you put on your old dealer vest and take Pit 1 yourself. Owner by day, dealer by dark. 6 nights straight. The regulars think it's a promotion stunt. The crew knows exactly what it is. Somewhere in that week, the floor stops calling you Ray's nephew. 4 a.m. Friday, the cash cage. Pearl counts the payroll twice, because Ray counted twice, and 44 years in this cage bent her to his habits. 62 envelopes, every one full. The numbers balance, $200 to spare. Pearl slides a butterscotch under the cage grill, same as when you were 9, visiting. She doesn't say congratulations. Pearl unwraps one for herself, and the two of you stand there, crunching candy over 62 paychecks. Here's what nobody tells you about owning the place. You get paid last. The dealers get paid. The bank gets paid. The napkin guy, God help you, gets paid. You get the coffee can, the debt, and the keys. You made 1 payroll, 51 more this year. But dealing your own tables taught you the floor from the inside. Every regular, every tell, every squeaky chair. You catch yourself thinking you might be good at this. In Vegas, that exact thought is how they find you. Level 3. $10,000. 6 months in, the rose runs black ink. $10,000 in the account, earned clean. You've read Ray's laminated rules card in the cage so many times you dream in block letters. You think you've cracked it. That feeling is the trap. Vegas farms that feeling. Sonny arrives on a Tuesday. Alligator shoes, pinky ring, a voice like warm syrup. His name is Sonny, says he's in from Houston, says Ray comped him for 20 years. Sonny hugs you on the casino floor like a lost cousin. He wants the good suite and a marker. A marker is casino credit. He signs a paper, plays now, pays later. Elena reads him for 4 seconds over her tray. She leans in and says one word. No. You overrule her. Owners host whales, the big spenders, and Sonny is your first whale. You give him the best suite and rope off the high-limit room. You dig Ray's old blazer out of the office closet. You stand there getting hugged in a dead man's jacket, feeling like a casino owner at last. Sonny signs markers for $8,000 and plays like money is a rumor. For 2 nights, the Rose feels like a movie. Then the checks land. The first bounces in Houston. The second bounces in Reno. The third is drawn on a bank that does not exist. Sonny's suite is empty. Towels gone. Minibar skinned. 8 of your $10,000 just walked out in alligator shoes. You count the loss alone that night. The cage window is dark. You even walk Marcus's chip to the pawn shop window. You put it back. Not with his. You want to call the police. Elena takes you upstairs instead. To the surveillance room. The eye in the sky. It's a dark room where cameras watch every table, every hand, every wrist. Elena scrubs to Tuesday, parking garage feed. There's Sonny, an hour before his big hello, leaning into a car window, talking to Wade. Wade is your pit boss. Ray hired him 9 years ago. Wade runs the floor while you sleep, knows half the safe combination, calls you champ. On the tape, Wade hands Sonny a Rose player's card and points at your door like a man selling maps to his own house. You fire Wade at noon, on the casino floor, in front of the day shift. Your hands shake. His don't. Wade unpins his name tag, sets it on the felt, and smiles like he's holding aces. Marcus pays finder's fees, champ. This whole street's for sale. You're the only one not buying. Wade crosses Fremont Street at the light. The Meridian's glass doors open for him like they knew he was coming. One more thing surfaces, and it cost the price of 2 drinks. Before Sonny skipped town, drunk at your bar, he bragged about the steak. Marcus paid him in cash, from a desk drawer, no paperwork. And Marcus stayed to watch him play, Sonny said. Stayed for hours, not smiling, like he needed it. You write that down. You don't know why yet. The high-limit room gets unroped. Ray's blazer goes back in the closet, and you reread the rules card in the cage. Rule 5. Block letters. Credit is for people whose home number you know. You're playing owner in a dead man's jacket, and the town can tell. The real owner, the one worth $100 billion, gets built the night you stop acting. That night starts ugly. You fired a man who knows every paper in this building. Wade works for Marcus now. Level 4. $100,000. The letter arrives certified. State seal in the corner. The gaming control board has received a complaint. Skimming at the Golden Rose. Skimming means stealing cash before it gets counted for taxes. The drop sheets say you did it. The signature on them is yours, and you have never seen them before. 14 days until the hearing. Wade forged them before he walked. 9 years of countersigning taught him your name takes 4 seconds. The complaint is anonymous. The lawyer who filed it is not cheap. You can guess the rest. Here's the joke with numbers in it. The Rose just crossed $100,000 in the account. Best year since 1988. And none of it matters, because in Nevada the license is the casino. Lose the license and you own a building full of unplugged machines. For 12 nights, you and Elena live in the surveillance room, pulling tape. Every table has a drop box, a locked cash box bolted underneath. Every box has a numbered seal, and the seals exist so no hand touches money unwatched. Elena matches Wade's forged sheets against the footage, hour by hour. The papers describe cash that never moved. The cameras prove it never moved. You learn your own casino down to the screws, because in 14 days, you have to testify to it. Day 9. A lawyer visits. Gray suit. No business card, no firm name. He says the complaint could resolve itself quietly if the Rose entertained an offer from an interested neighbor. You hold the door open until he's through it. The hearing room downtown is flags, folding chairs, and a microphone that pops. Your license sits on the table in a folder, like a patient. Pearl testifies. 70 years old, Cage cashier since 1981, 44 years of receipts, no notes. Pearl knows the drop schedule of every table the way other grandmothers know birthdays. The board's lawyer tries to rattle her twice. He apologizes both times. Then, Ray's laminated rules card goes up on the projector, entered as evidence in a plastic sleeve. Rule 1. Block letters, 10 feet tall in a government hearing room. The count is the count. The board clears the rows in 40 minutes. Wade's forgeries earn Wade a statewide ban. His name in a book that means no casino in Nevada can ever hire him. On the way out, a board member with a gray crew cut stops you by the flags. Whoever taught you your paperwork, son, keep doing it his way. Your sheets read cleaner than the Meridian's. He says the Meridian part quietly. He doesn't smile when he says it. You file that next to Sonny's drawer story. The pile is getting taller. After, at the coffee counter, across the street from the hearing room, Pearl pushes a butterscotch across the saucer. Same gesture, new room. She stirs her coffee. 44 years, Ray never missed a Sunday count. Not once. Pearl looks at you over the cup. You keep his Sundays. The license is the one thing in this town money can't buy back. That's why Marcus aimed at it. He missed, and the miss cost him a lawyer and his cover. 2 weeks later, the mail changes. Cream envelopes, wax seals, your name in calligraphy. Vegas has found out you exist. Clean, visible, and worth $100,000. Exactly the size this town likes to eat. Level 5. $1 million. The invitation sits on Ray's desk with a wax seal thick as a poker chip. Marcus requests the pleasure of your company. The Meridian pool deck, Saturday, noon. First, the million. A clean license plus the best 2 years downtown has seen. And the Rose clears its first $1 million. Vegas flips a switch. A host gets assigned to your happiness. A man whose whole job is comping your life. Dinners arrive free. Fights, ringside, free. Free as a price tag with better manners. Elena taught you that on a napkin. Now the tags have commas. You go on Saturday, because you want to see it. The Meridian pool deck at noon is a cartoon drawn in gold. Gold faucets on an outdoor bar. Frozen grapes in silver bowls. A DJ playing to nobody. A tiger cub on a leash. Rented by the hour. Bored out of its mind. Staff who study the floor whenever Marcus talks. Marcus holds court from a cabana in a white robe, betting $5,000 a race on which raindrop wins down the glass wall. It isn't raining. They're waiting for rain. He toasts you with someone else's champagne. There he is, downtown's little miracle. Marcus offers partnership. His hosts, your tables, the Rose folded into what he calls the family. Then he leans back in the robe. You're rich now. Act like it. Money you don't spend is money some braver man spends on you. That night, his host hands you a key card. Black. Heavy. The Sky Villa penthouse upstairs at the Meridian, comped, whenever you want it. You look up what that room runs for regular people. $25,000 a night. The number behind free has commas now too. The price is one signature on Marcus's partnership papers. You try his life on for 1 weekend. Marcus's funeral chip stays in your pocket the whole time, small and heavy, like a pebble in a shoe. Bottle service where the bottle costs a used car. A pill from a stranger's palm that makes 4 a.m. feel like noon. You wake up Sunday in the penthouse, missing an entire day, wearing sunglasses indoors, holding a receipt for a jet ski you cannot find. Monday, 5 a.m. You cut through the Meridian casino floor to leave. And there's Marcus, alone at his own baccarat table, in Saturday's shirt, playing against his own casino, chasing his own money, across his own felt. A pit boss deals to his boss with the face of a hostage. Marcus doesn't see you. Marcus isn't seeing much. The house always wins, they say. Marcus owns a house and still found a way to lose to it. You go back upstairs for your jacket, and Elena is on the penthouse balcony. Somebody at the Rose covered her shift. Nobody covered yours. Elena doesn't yell. She sets Ray's brass key ring on the balcony rail between you, 40 years of keys, and looks at the strip instead of at you. Then she goes to wait by the elevator. You beat the maids out of the penthouse. You drive back downtown with the windows down in yesterday's shirt. The Rose's neon is still on when you pull in. You clock in with the day crew. The key card goes back by courier, cut in half. The partnership papers go back unsigned. 60 hours in Marcus's life, and it taught you the one thing his money never bought him, an exit. Marcus doesn't do rejected twice. Level 6. $10 million. A crane swings over Fremont Street, and it's yours. You bought the shuttered motel next door and gutted it to the studs. The Rose is doubling in size. $10 million. All of it working, none of it partying. On paper, you're rich. In the parking lot, you still drive the Honda you once pawned because every loose dollar is in rebar and felt. Opening night of the new wing, the floor is packed to the doors. On your way in, you flip a $100 chip to the valet kid without looking at him. Midair, you see it. The wrist. Marcus's exact wrist. The funeral wrist. The chip on the casket. You walk back, put the chip in the kid's hand properly, and ask his name. You shake his hand like it cost you something, because it should. Money doesn't change people. Money undresses them. Whatever was underneath comes out. And for half a second, what was underneath, you had a robe on. The week before opening, you'd already paid for the lesson. You promoted Elena to general manager and never told her. A TV crew wanted the crane at sunset. You chose the crane over the dinner where you'd planned to say it. Elena learned she runs the Rose from a press release. 3 weeks of Sir in the hallways. Sir, from Elena, is a bruise. You fix it where she lives. In the surveillance room, no flowers. You bring the new wing's license papers with Elena's name printed on the ownership line. 1% earned, notarized. Elena reads every page before she nods. That's how you know it counted. Opening weekend, Marcus sends professionals. A quiet crew hits the new blackjack tables with hidden radios and coded bets. A team built to get caught. That's the trick of it. Marcus doesn't want your money. He wants news cameras filming cheaters at your grand opening, and a fresh board file with your name inside. Elena's cameras clock the earpieces in 90 minutes. The crew flips before the police finish their coffee. Paid in cash, they say. From a desk drawer. At the Meridian. Third time you've heard about that drawer. The same week, the county recorder posts 6 contractors' liens against the Meridian. Liens are public paper that say a business stopped paying its builders. You drive past his tower that night and count the dark letters. Half the neon is out. M-E-R still burning, the rest gone black. The town does its own math now. You don't have to say a word. At this level, you write the comp ledger yourself. You decide whose dinner is free and what the free must bring back. Every morning, your manager hands you a list of gifts with numbers behind them. You sign it, and you think of a napkin taped inside a register. Pearl walks the new wing on opening night. Slow, proud, touching the fresh, felt like a grandchild's hair. At the new cage, she leaves a butterscotch for the first shift cashier. That's how traditions move into a building. After close, alone, you stop at Ray's original table. Roped off, still licensed, still live. You deal one practice hand from a house deck to the empty chair. You tell Ray about the wing, out loud, quiet. Like a nephew. Ray's own deck stays in the safe. It isn't time. The phone in the office rings at midnight. A strip investment fund. They've been watching downtown. Money that big doesn't knock twice. Level 7. $100 million. $200 million, and we stay out of your way. That's the fund's opening line. Midnight. On Ray's old office phone. Strip money calling downtown. 20 years ago, they wouldn't have sent this street a Christmas card. You take the deal on your terms. They get a cut. You keep control. And Ray's laminated rules go into the operating agreement word for word. As covenants, legal promises the money has to keep. The fund's lawyers laugh at Rule 1 on a term sheet. They sign anyway. Money respects weird when weird is profitable. You buy 2 dying casinos off the strip, the kind with carpet older than the dealers, and run them the Rose way. Payroll first, cages counted twice, honest comps. Buying a casino means buying its debts and its people, and you keep both. $100 million on paper. The paper stops fitting in your head. A business magazine flies in a photographer who asks for the coffee can, your old tip can, in the shot. The profile calls you the coffee can kid. It reads like a costume somebody sewed in your size. You barely recognize the kid. You were the kid. From the new boardroom on the Rose's top floor, the skyline Ray squinted at is one sign short of finished. You know exactly which sign. Then the Meridian misses payroll. In a casino town, missing payroll is a heart attack in public. The board suspends Marcus's license pending review, and the hearing lands in the same downtown room where you once sweated 14 days. Same flags. Same folding chairs. His turn. You go and sit in the back row. You've rehearsed this scene in the shower for years, every version ending with Marcus small and you on fire. Marcus sits alone at a table built for a legal team. The entourage evaporated in one news cycle. The sunglasses, the robe crowd, the tiger cub people, gone. His suit is still perfect. He answers questions in a voice you've never heard him use. And you feel weather. That's all. You waited years for this exact sight. And it lands like a gray sky doing what gray skies do. No fire. You check your watch, and it feels like a crime. By Friday, his people are calling your office for work. Wade calls twice. You don't call Wade back. You hire the Meridian's cage staff and its whole coffee shop crew in one afternoon. Payroll is people. The war was never with them. Pearl is 76 and refuses to retire, so you have the new cage counter rebuilt 4 inches lower, and she works sitting down. Nobody announces it. The carpenter just shows up, and before the fund's quarterly meeting, in front of 6 suits, Pearl slides a butterscotch the whole length of the mahogany table to you. 6 lawyers watch the candy travel. You unwrap it. The meeting starts. Then a courier brings a thick envelope with Marcus's letterhead. The office assumes it's the sale pitch, a first look at the Meridian before the auction. You don't open it. You put it in the desk drawer, next to Marcus's $10,000 funeral chip, which retired from the coffee can to that drawer years ago. You shut the drawer. You tell yourself you'll open it when the auction ends. The auction ends Thursday. Level 8. $1 billion. Thursday, the auction. Your fund wins the Meridian while you're eating a sandwich at your desk. One phone call, done. The glass tower that shadowed Ray's Rose for 30 years is yours, and the number under your name crosses $1 billion. It feels like a weather report from another city. Your first order isn't the penthouse. You send engineers to the fire exits because Marcus kept half of them chained shut. Alarms cost money and doors leak. That's the whole man in one padlock. A dead casino's chips get a deadline, then turn into plastic. The $10,000 chip in your drawer is now worth its weight. You keep it anyway. 2 weeks later, Marcus walks into the Rose. No entourage, no sunglasses, gray at the temples, thinner in the good suit. He waits at pit 1 like a customer. The floor goes quiet in rings around him. He wants one thing, 1 hand of blackjack. I've got the watch and the story, that's it. Play me like Ray would've. Here is the cruel option, and it has a key. Pearl still opens the old safe. You could send for Ray's deck, the one he shuffled and cut the night he died. You could deal a dead man's cards against the man who priced his casket. Beat Marcus with Ray's own shuffle. Fremont Street would tell that story for 100 years. You look at the cage. Pearl is already looking at you. The deck stays in the safe. Instead, you sign a comp. A room at the Meridian, top floor, indefinite. His building, his view, your pen. You walk Marcus to the door yourself, past 3 shifts pretending not to watch. At the door, he stops. Ray taught me the cut. Summer of '89. Marcus looks back at pit 1 once, and then he leaves. You rehearsed a fire for 20 years. What you feel is due diligence. Revenge, it turns out, is a bill you write yourself, and you just decline to print it. Then the real Thursday arrives, the one that matters. Pearl's heart gives out during the Sunday count, in the count room, mid-stack. The paramedics wheel her out through the casino's back hall. At the hospital, intensive care, you set a butterscotch on Pearl's tray. The gesture flipped for the first time in your life. Pearl pulls through, furious about the fuss. She retires from the cage in a wheelchair, while 3 shifts line the floor and applaud. She grips your hand and looks you over. Eat something. You look like Ray in a bad year. In the hospital hallway, by the vending machines, Elena tells you she's pregnant. You laugh and cry at the same time, both of you, quiet, in a hallway that smells like lemon cleaner. The timing is terrible. The timing is perfect. At $1 billion, nothing you touch has a price tag, and everything has a price. The jet is free. The dinners are free. The friendships are free. You can read the number behind every single one now, and the numbers have never been bigger. Pearl's butterscotch never had a number on it. 30 years? Not once. That night you finally open Marcus's envelope. It isn't a sale pitch. It's 1 handwritten page about a college kid who dealt cards at the Golden Rose in the summer of '89, and about the small man who taught that kid to shuffle, cut, and count a drawer twice. Everyone in this story learned the cut at the same table. Even him. Level 9. $100 billion. The company that grew out of one downtown casino runs properties on 3 continents. It is worth $100 billion. Your name is on the tallest sign on the skyline, the one Ray squinted at for 40 years. That's the whole Empire report. It fits in one breath, because this story was never about the buildings. The analysts call it an empire. You call it 62 paychecks that multiplied. Sunday, 6 a.m., the original Rose floor, before the shift change. This is the ritual, and today it's different. Elena leans on pit 1 with her coffee. Your daughter, 4 years old, kneels on a stool at Ray's roped-off table, where Elena can reach her. Behind the cage grill sits Pearl's butterscotch jar, kept full by 3 shifts of cashiers. Ray's rules card hangs above the table, re-laminated. His reading glasses sit beside it in a small frame, folded, patient. On the shelf next to the frame is your old coffee can, the dealer tip can, still smelling faintly of quarters. Pearl comes in for this one, retired, in her good cardigan, and unlocks the old safe one last time. Inside, where it has waited 20 years, is Ray's deck. The rubber band has gone brittle. You could have framed that deck, a museum asked once. You could have auctioned it, or dealt it against Marcus one afternoon and become a legend on this street. It was never for any of that. Your daughter looks at the empty chair across the felt and asks who sits there. Just asks it, the way kids ask. You say, your Uncle Ray. This is his table. The rubber band comes off in pieces. You deal the hand Ray shuffled the night he died. One hand of blackjack, you against the empty chair, the way Ray played himself on slow nights. The cards are 20 years old and they still snap. Elena watches your hands, not the cards. The chair draws 20. You stand on 19. The house loses on purpose, for the first and only time. Upstairs at the Meridian, in a comped room he has never asked to extend, Marcus still lives. He sends a note down every Sunday morning. 2 words, nevermore. You've never written back. You've never canceled the room. Some accounts just stay open. Here is the ledger, plain. The money bought the skyline. It bought the tower that shadowed this room, and the sign, and 3 continents of felt. It never bought back one Tuesday at 3 a.m., and it never filled one chair. You built all of it so a small man with big furniture would walk in once. See the wing, see the kid, say you did good. He left before you started. That's the bill money can't pay, not the work. The witness. Elena puts her hand on your shoulder. Your daughter steals a butterscotch from the jar Pearl holds out, and the wrapper crackles in the quiet like applause. Pride is for the crowds that watch you win. Grief is for the one hand nobody saw. You square the deck, cut it, and leave it on the felt for next Sunday. The morning crew starts flipping table lights on, one green pool at a time. Over Fremont Street, the neon rose comes on.